Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. I would like to welcome all of you into my virtual class of Management 301, Principles of Management. This is September 29th, 2020. This is Dr. Samir Hamad, and today we are going to discuss Chapter 9, which is Organization Structure Design. And as much as we discuss the early schools of management history, then we discuss planning. And during the planning, we discuss 3 chapters: managers as decision makers, foundation of a planning, and strategic management. Today, we will start going into the second function of management, which is organizing. And in this part of the book, we are going to go through 4 chapters. And this is the first one, the organizational structure and design. Okay. Now, managerial function: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And these are done simultaneously, okay? We do it all of them at the same time, okay? Now, when we talk about organizational design, is very much similar to when we design our home, our house. How many rooms we need, where is the living room, where is the kitchen, and so on. It's also how much we are neat within our car or in our office. All these are kind of design. The way you put your stuff to help you be more efficient in doing the work. As much as that is true in your house, in your car, in yourself, also it's true in the organization that you either own or part of. Now, in a very simple structure, when we talk about design, organizational design, how do we group people together in order to have them become the most efficient way to run the organization? How do we put them? What's the relationship? Who's the boss? Who's going to be in this department? This is what we mean by organizational design. Assume one of you as a student. Let me start. Assume one of you as a student, okay, became a big businessman, and this businessman, okay, is after a few years businessman, and this businessman, which is you, one of you, has so many activities. He's very successful. He has a paint factory. He has paint factory, and he has heavy equipment division. Okay, heavy equipment in 3 cities. Okay, in Saudi Arabia, and he has 2 hotels. Okay, big businessman. Okay, 2 hotels plus 10 buildings as furnished apartments. Okay, okay, and he has contracting division. He supply material to Aramco. He has also industrial division. Okay, or company. Okay, He has supermarkets. He has supermarkets in 4 cities within Saudi Arabia. Okay. He has 3 restaurants. Okay, and he has apparel or some trademark apparels. Okay, and he has pharmacies. He has 4 pharmacies. Now, if you have all these kind of activities, how would you organize your company? On what term? You put them according to function, to location, to process. How would you do it? In this chapter, we are going to see what is the science behind organizing your company or your establishment. And in this chapter, we will discuss the organizational design. How are we going to organize all these activities? Okay. And when you do organizational design, you look into 6 important aspects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. First of all, you look at span of control. And you look at the chain of command. And you look at the centralization versus decentralization. And or decentralization. And we look at the work specialization. And we look at formalization. How formal is the relationship and the company is. Aramco is very formal. Skiko is very formal. Sabic is very formal. Formalization. Most importantly, we look at departmentalization. How are we gonna convert these activities into departmentalization? Now, departmentalization consist of 5 types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is we can distribute this according to functions or product or geographical locations or process or according to customers. These are the science behind converting all your activities into different departments, and that's why we call it departmentalization. We always have to put in mind 2 important aspects: whether the organization is mechanistic versus organic? Is it flexible, organic, or mechanistic? Answer, it depends. And we will be also looking at something called matrix organization. Which is another important type of organization, and we will be looking into something called boundaryless organization. And we will be eventually looking into something called concept of the learning organization. All these that we will be discussing today, and we will be also looking into, as much as we have organization structure, we will be looking into technology structure. And this could be unit production, P, or mass production, or process production. Again, why do I write this chart into the board here? Because they are important. Do not be surprised to see these concepts in your exam. Therefore, you have to know them very well. Okay. To make this short, we have this big businessman. One of you, after 5 or 6 years, he has a paint factory, he has heavy equipment division, he has 2 hotels, he has contracting service company, has industrial division, supermarkets in 4 cities, 3 restaurants, he have 4 pharmacies. How would you organize his activities? And in this chapter, we will be looking into all of that. Bon, okay, and what do you mean by organizing? Organizing refers to arranging and structuring work to accomplish an organization's goals. Organizational structure, on the other hand, is a formal arrangement of jobs within the organization. Organization chart is a visual representation of organizational structure. Organization design or chart or structure for the Aramco in the 60s is different than the 70s, different than the 80s, different than the 90s, and so on. The one in the 60s doesn't suit the 90s. Because of what? Management of change, environmental change. Therefore, we always have to look into these organizational design. We as a consultant, when we go and try to solve a problem with companies, First thing we take a look at is their organizational structure or design. And we ask how long this has been there. If it is 5 years, 4 years and all, then there's a problem. It has to be adapting to the change. Okay? Now, again, we will be talking about management of delta, which is management of change. What I'm talking about Aramco is the same for Skiko, same for the SABIC, same for the big larger corporation. Okay. Now, organizational design, a process involving decisions about 6 key elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What are these 6 key elements? Work specialization, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization and decentralization, and formalization. Purpose of organizing. Why do I organize my work? Divides work to be done into specific jobs and departments. Assign tasks to and responsibilities associated with individual jobs. Coordinate diverse organizational tasks. Clusters job into units. Establishes relationship among individual, group, and department. Establishes formal lines of authority, allocates and deploy organizational resources. Work specialization, the degree to which tasks in the organization divided into separate jobs, with each steps completed by different person. Over specialization, this sometimes happen, can result into human diseconomies or diseconomies from burden, fatigue, stress, poor quality, increased absenteeism, and higher turnover. Also, work specialization are known as division of labor. Other word, how do I divide my work into smaller segment and pieces, or specialized segment and pieces? Departmentalization. There are 5 types of departmentalization. Departmentalization 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is functions, product, geographical location, process, and customers. Okay. There are 5 types of departmentalization. Functional, grouping job by function. Each function, one group. If they are electric, if they are medical, if they are supermarkets, if they are food, if they are apparel, function. Grouping, departmentalization, it could be functional or and or geographical. Geographical, grouping jobs on the basis of territory or geography. This company that have so many activities, we could divide it into Eastern Province, Western Province, in the middle part, northern part, and the southern part. Okay, could be 4 or 5. Departmentalization could be also divided into according to product, grouping jobs by product line, or process, grouping jobs on the basis of a product and customer flow, or could be divided according to customer, grouping jobs by type of customer and need, such as if you have department store, you have clothes for men, women, children. This is according to customers. Okay. Okay, these are the example. The 5 common forms of departmentalization. The first one is function or functional departmentalization. You have plant manager, and reporting to him, manager of engineering, manager of accounting, manager of manufacturing, manager of human resources, and manager of purchasing. Advantages of this functional departmentalization is efficiencies for form putting together similar specialties or specialties and people with common skills, knowledge, and orientation. Another advantage, coordination within functional area and also in-depth specialization. Disadvantages, poor communication across functional areas, limited views of organizational goals. Okay. Departmentalization according to geographical territories. Vice President of Sales, under him, Sales Director of Western Region, Sales Director of Southern Region, Sales Director of Midwest Region, Sales Director of Eastern Region. Advantages, more effective and efficient handling of specialization of a specific region, or specific regional issues and of a specific regional issues that arise, serve needs for unique geographical market better. Disadvantages, duplication of functions, and you will have accounting department in Eastern Province, Western Province, and North, South. This is duplication. Also, disadvantage can feel isolated from other organizational area. This departmentalization by a product. This is Bombardier Limited company or has mass transit sector, recreational and utility sector, and railroad sector. And railroad sectors, they have railroad and diesel product. In the mass transit sector, they have mass transit division, and they have Bombardier Rotex in Vienna. This is company in Europe. And for the recreational and utility vehicle sector, we have a recreational product division, logistic equipment division, industrial equipment division, and Bombardier Rotex Ganskirchen, another city. Advantages, allow specialization. Advantage of product departmentalization, allows specialization in a particular product and services. Manager can become expert in their industry, close to customer. Disadvantages, duplicate of functions, limited views of organizational goals. Okay. Process departmentalization or departmentalization depending on the process. We have a plant superintendent, we have sewing department manager, we have a planning and milling department manager, we have assembly or assembling department manager, we have lacquering and sanding department manager, we have finishing department manager, we have inspections and shipping department manager. Advantages, more efficient flow of work activities, can only be used with certain type of product. This is not good for all type of product. The last one is the customer type of departmentalization. We have director of sale, here under him manager of retail account, manager of wholesale account, manager of government accounts. Advantages, customer needs and problems can be met by specialists. Disadvantages, duplication of function, limited view of organizational goals. Therefore, these are the 5 types of departmentalization, and we give an example of them. What do you mean by chain of command. Okay, we'll talk about chain of command. We'll talk about span of control. We just talk about departmentalization, and we'll talk about work specialization, and we'll talk about formalization. Okay, chain of command means the continuous line of authority that extend from upper level of the organization to the lowest level of the organization and clarifies who represent whom. Chain of control. You have to have lines between each function or department connecting the whole company together so that we know who is responsible of what and who is reporting to whom. This is call it chain of command. Okay. Chain of commands, we have authority, the rights inherent in managerial position to tell people what to do and to expect them to do it. It has responsibilities, the obligation or expectation to perform, and we have unity of command, the concept that a person should have only one boss and should not be reporting and should report only to that person. Do we have a situation that we have more than one boss? Yes. In the matrix organization, we are going to see that later on. But in organization, there should be authority, responsibility, and command. Each person should have one boss. Okay. Span of control. Span of control, how many people should be reporting to you? What's the best ideal number? 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, 9 people? This always depends on the type of work, type of responsibility, how complex, how so many things, okay? It is very, very interesting. We are going to see the span of control, okay? Number of people reporting to you. Span of control, the number of employees who can effectively and efficiently supervised by one manager. Width of a span is affected by skills and ability of the manager, okay? Employees' characteristics of the work being done, similarity and complexity of the task, physical proximity of subordinates, standardization of tasks, sophistication of the organization information system, strength of the organization culture, and preferred style of the manager. Span of control. This is contrasting span of control. If you have 4 reporting to you, then the next level 16, 64, 256, 1024, and 4096. This is if you have 6 level. If you have less than that, if you have 8, span of control of 8, 1, 8, 64, 502, and 4096 or 4000, you will get that span of control. This is tall organization, and this is more a flat organization. And this just to give you idea that if your span of control is narrow, you will have tall organization. If it is big, you will have wider organization, okay? Centralization versus decentralization. Centralization, the degree to which decision making is concentrated at the upper level in the organization. Again, it depends on so many factors. Organization in which top managers make all the decisions and lower level employees simply carry out these orders. Decentralization, organization in which the decision making is pushed down to the managers who are closest to the action. Employees empowerment increasing the decision-making authorities or power of employees. Okay. Next slide talks about, again, centralization, decentralization. What are the situations that we need more centralization? If environment is stable, lower level managers are not capable or experienced at making decisions as upper level managers. Lower level managers do not want to have a say in the decisions. Decisions are relatively minor. Organization is facing a crisis or the risk of company failure. If the company is large, you need more centralization. Effective implementation of company strategies depends on managers retaining say over what happens. Okay, more decentralization. What are the situations that you need more decentralization? If environment is complex, uncertain, lower level managers are capable and experienced at making decisions. Lower level managers want a voice in decisions. Decisions are significant. Corporate culture is often to allowing managers to have a say in what happens. Company is geographically dispersed. Effective implementation of company strategies depends on managers having involvement and flexibility to make decisions. Formalization, okay, what do we mean by that? The degree to which jobs within organization are standardized and extent to which employees' behavior is guided by rules and procedure. Have manuals, well known, like big companies, Aramco, Sabic, Skiko. Work is very formalization. There is a standard, there is manual, everything is well known and highly professional. Highly formalized job offer little direction over what is to be done. Low formalization means fewer constraints on how employees do their work. Okay, we will come into, we discuss this also, we discuss this, and we discuss that. We will we will discuss difference between mechanistic organization and organic organization. Mechanistic, high specialization, rigid departmentalization, clear chain of command, narrow span of control, centralization, high formalization. Organic is cross-functional teams, cross-hierarchical teams, free flow of information, wide span of control, more decentralization, and low formalization. Okay. Contingency factors, okay. Strategy and structure. Achievement of a strategic goal is facilitated by change in organizational structure that accommodate and support change. Again, management of change. You have a strategy. Your structure has to accommodate that strategy. As you go more on time, you have to have ability to change the structure to fit these changes. Strategy structure, achievement of a strategic goal is facilitated by changes in organizational structure that accommodate and support change. Organizational structure, flow strategy. Size and structure. As much as the structure affect your strategy, the size also affect your strategy. As you go bigger in size, you have to change your organizational structure. As an organizational grows large, its structure tends to change from organic into mechanistic with increased specialization, departmentalization, centralization, and rules and regulations. Also, technology sometimes dictate that you change your structure. Technology and structure, organization adapt their structure to their technology. Woodward classification of firm based on the complexity of the technology employed. We have what we call unit production or mass production or process production. Unit production of a single unit or a small batch or batches. Mass production of large batches of output. Process production is continuous process of output. We have also routine technology and non-routine technology. Routine technology equal mechanistic organization, while non-routine technology equal organic organization. Very interesting. Now, this Woodward findings on technology and structure. We have unit production, mass production, process production, structural characteristic, okay, for unit, low vertical differentiation, low horizontal differentiation, low horizontal differentiation, and low formalization. While the mass production, again, structural characteristic, moderate vertical differentiation, high horizontal differentiation, and high formalization. In the process production, the structural characteristics is high vertical differentiation, low horizontal differentiation, and low formalization. Most effective structure for unit production is organic, for mass production mechanistic, and for process production is organic. This is what I mean by the science. When you set and design your organization, you have to know what type of organization. Is it mechanistic? Is it organic? What type of production? Is it one unit? Is it mass production? It's very important. And this is the science and the theory behind these steps. Okay. Contingency factor, continued. Environmental uncertainty and structure. Mechanistic organizational structure tends to be most effective in stable and simple environments. The flexibility of organic organization structure is better suited for dynamic and complex environment. We have the traditional organizational design, which is simple structure, low departmentalization, wide span of control, centralized authority, little formalization. The functional structure, departmentalization by function, operation, finance, marketing, human resources, and product research and development. Divisional structure, composed of separate business unit or divisions with limited autonomy under the coordination and control of the parent corporation. And this is very nice summary of traditional organizational design. We have the simple structure, functional structure, and divisional structure. Simple structure, the strength, fast, flexible, inexpensive, clear, accountability. Weaknesses, not appropriate as organization grows. Reliance on one person is risky. Functional structure, on the other hand, the strength, cost-saving advantages from specialization, economies of scale, minimal duplications of people and equipment. Employees are grouped with others who have similar tasks. Weaknesses, on the other hand, is the pursuit of functional goals can cause managers to lose sight of what best for the overall organization, and functional specialists become uh, insulated and have little understanding for what other units are doing. Divisional structure, strength, focus on results. Division managers are responsible for what happened to their products and services. Weaknesses, duplicate of activities and resources, increase cost and reduce efficiency. Contemporary organization design, we go into team structure. The entire organization is made of work groups or self-managed teams of empowered employees. Now we'll go to something called matrix and project structure. Matrix is a specialist from different function departments are assigned to work on projects led by project manager. Matrix are projects participants have two managers. Therefore, in the matrix organization, we have the possibility that a person have two managers. In project structure, employees work continuously on a project, moving on to another project as each project is completed. Give you example about matrix organization, like Stanford University and the Stanford Research Institute, like KFUPM and RI, or Research Institute for KFUPM. They have, like at KFU, they have 300 scientists working at the Research Institute full-time to do applied research, while they also teach at different departments within university. Same with the Stanford. Therefore, those have two hats. The hat of working full-time with the Research Institute and the hat of being a faculty member. Very interesting. But this is what we mean by matrix, by the matrix organization. Okay. Again, going into the contemporary organization design, we have something called borderless organization, a flexible and unstructured organizational design that is intended to break down external barriers between the organization and its customer and supplier. They removes internal or horizontal boundaries, eliminate the chain of command, has limitless span of control, use empowered team rather than department, eliminate external boundaries, uses virtual network and modular organization structure to get closer to stakeholder. And we have so many examples these days by borderless organization, especially in the area of IT companies. Virtual organization, removing the external boundaries for how removing external boundaries work by having virtual organization, an organization that consists of a small core full-time employees and that temporarily hire specialists to work on opportunities that arise. Network organization, another type of organization, a small core organization that outsource its major business function. They outsource everything, but it's very small, okay? This is well known for companies that make movies, okay? They have this kind of network, okay? For example, manufacturing, in order to concentrate on what it does best, okay? Also, in the manufacturing, we use this type of highly specialized network organization. We have something called modular organization, manufacturing organization that uses outside suppliers to provide product components for its final assembly operation. Now, team structure, matrix structure, boundaryless structure. This is team structure. What is it? Team structure is structure in which the entire organization is made up of work groups or teams. Advantages: employees are more involved and empowered. Reduced barriers among functional areas. Disadvantages: no clear chain of command and the pressure on teams to perform. The matrix project structure, what is it? It's matrix is structure that assign specialists from different functional area to work on projects, but who return back to their areas when this project is completed. Project is a structure in which employees continuously work on project. As when the project is completed, employees move to the next project. Advantages: it's a fluid, flexible design that can respond to environmental changes, faster decision making. Disadvantages: complexity of assigning people to project, task and responsibility conflict. Boundaryless structure, what it is or what is it? Is a structure that is not defined by or limited to artificial, horizontal, vertical, or external boundaries. Include virtual and network type of organization. Therefore, boundaryless include virtual and network type of organization. Advantages: highly flexible and responsive, utilizes talent wherever is found. Disadvantages: lack of control and communication difficulties. Today's organizational design challenges: you have to keep employees connected, build learning organization, manage global structure issues. As much as you have career plan for your employee and you put them in a continuous education process, learning, career plan also for yourself, you have that concept of continuous education also at the whole organization level. It always should adapt to the most recent technologies, to the most recent theories. It's not only the people, also the organization itself. And this is what we mean by building concept of learning organization, okay? And managing global structure issues and keeping employees connected. Keeping employees connected: earlier organization design concepts were developed assuming predictable and constant work task, full-time jobs continued indefinitely, work done at an employer place of business and under a manager supervision. A major structural design challenge for manager is finding a way to keep widely dispersed and mobile employees connected to the organization. Building learning organization, an organization that has developed the capacity to continuously learn, adapt, and change through the practice of knowledge management by employees, characteristics of learning organization, an open team-based organization design that empowers employee, extensive and open information sharing, leadership that provides a shared vision of the organization future, strong culture of shared value, trust, openness, and sense of communication. Last slide for this lecture is managing global structure issues. Structures and strategies of organization worldwide are similar. Everybody is now suffering with COVID-19, okay? While the behavior within them is maintaining its culture uniqueness, even though it is common, but for each culture is different, okay? How do they respond different? Managers may need to think about the culture implication of certain design element. Question: does culture changes dictate or implies different organizational change or not? I leave that question to you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for this evening, and as usual, I am gonna take you through my whiteboard to go ahead and take a capture of that so that it will help you when you go and when you study. And this is organizational design. We have 5 factors that affect organizational design: span of control, chain of command, centralization versus decentralization, work specialization, departmentalization, formalization. And departmentalization also could be divided into 5 type or categories: departmentalization according to function, product, geographical location, process, and customer. And we discussed mechanistic versus organic structure, and we talked about the matrix organization, boundaryless organization, and the concept of learning organization. And we talked about technology structure, which is unit production, mass production, and process production. And we talk about management of delta or management of change. And this is the managerial function: planning, organizing, leading, controlling. And we are on this organization. And this is the example that we had, that if you are a businessman, you have all these type of activities. How would you divide that into the structure? Thank you very much. And I wish you have a good day, good evening, good night, wherever you are. And I'll see you next class. Bye now.